Dzień dobry, ja się nazywam Rafael Grieger i witam Was serdecznie na moim programie The Culture of Beauty, La Bioesthetyk, tutaj w kinogramie Fabrycy Noblinie. Dzisiaj moim gościem jest wyjątkowa osoba, nie tylko fryzjer, ale też przedsiębiorca, osoba, która tworzyła markę Manta Hair, o której będziemy zaraz porozmawiać. Cudowna osoba, witam tutaj Tim Binnington. Tim, it's very nice to meet you.
Nice to be here, it's lovely. We've just talked about how wonderful Warsaw is.
Yeah, Warsaw is a fast city and an innovative city, and we want to talk about innovations today.
Yes, we do. Yes, yeah, we do.
Because we want to talk about the product of yours, which is Manta Hair.
Manta, yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about the history of Manta, where's it coming from, and what inspired you to create this product?
Well, I've been a hairdresser for a long time, right? About 30 odd years. And I own a group of hairdressing salons in the UK called Headmasters. We have about 55 salons and about 10,000 clients a week. So I loved hair. I grew up as a hairdresser, then I ran the business. And then I got married to a lovely lady called Danny, who's Austrian. And about 15 years ago, she got an illness, got cancer, and her hair came out. And she's good now, so it's all good news. She's healthy now.
Great.
But when her hair grew back, she wouldn't use the typical hairbrush. Because a typical hairbrush, as we know, you would hold it like this or have a handler and then pull it through the hair, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't know, the original hairbrush actually was in 1871, was patented by a guy from America called Samuel Fiery.
Yeah.
And it hasn't changed for over 150 years, right?
Yeah.
But in 1871, we only lived to 40. So having great hair was sort of least of your worries if you weren't around after 40, right?
Yeah.
But now life's changing,
Mm-hmm.
and people are living a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
So, and actually, as everyone says, people even at 60 feel 40, and so they want to have really good hair. But my wife said to me, I just wish, she said, I had bristles on my fingers, and then I could massage my scalp, I could feel what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so I looked for a brush, and there's
Yeah.
nothing like it. So that started a crusade for me, and it took me 5 years. 5 years of slog and turmoil to make her the brush. By that point, her hair had all grown back.
Yeah.
But she was thinking, oh my gosh, you've actually done it. So that is when Manta was actually born. So the way Manta works, I suppose you put your hand in it like a glove.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Manta. What is it for? It makes beautiful hair, I know. It makes hair shiny. What exactly is it? Because women look at it and say, it looks different.
Yeah, exactly. And we were talking about this before, that if I gave this to someone to use without showing them, intuitively, would people put their hand in it and move it? They wouldn't, because you don't do that with a hairbrush. A hairbrush you hold and pull. So Manta is groundbreaking. It's the first hairbrush and only hairbrush in the world. It's patented with this flex guard technology. That means you can actually move it. And the reason why it does that, and I can quickly show you, is there are two parts. Now this is getting a bit technical, but there is a reason for it. This part here, the bristle section, was made so it just has no memory. It flops and moves and everything. The body here has a memory, so it goes back to a shape, and that means that it can spring back, so you get the control. And that versatility, which we've patented on FlexGuard technology, that means you can use it as a scalp brush, you can use it as a detangling brush, you can use it as a paddle brush, and most importantly, you won't break your hair whilst doing it. So it's trying to tell people about having a scalp brush and a tangler and a paddle brush. There's so many brushes, and we're sort of so used to looking at so much hair in the brush.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah. When was the first time you had the idea that this is something special? That you had something innovative which will work?
That's a really good point. I think when we made it originally through 3D printing, and there's a guy that I used to email all the time to try and get him to keep making me a 3D printed version. And once I saw there was a mesh, I then sourced about 8 different design companies, and I ended up with a design company that's never made a hairbrush. They loved the idea, and they made things for Red Bull and for Motorola and various other companies. And they loved the idea, and they said, this is a project we think has got, legs. This can really go somewhere. So it took us about 3 years of getting the right materials. The materials are a thermoplastic rubber and a thermoplastic elasticator. And one material on the base is different to the body because they do different things.
Okay.
But they're heat resistant up to 180 degrees.
Okay.
Fahrenheit, or 80 degrees centigrade, actually. They're anti-static, and they use these materials in medical products.
Okay.
And it's 100% recyclable as well.
Super, super.
So we've sort of tried to cover everything, but it took so long to make something really good. I realized it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, I really believe Polish women will love it because they love their beautiful hair, but when I see it, I think of scalp health as well. And trichology, scalp health is a big topic in Poland. So can you use a brush to massage your scalp?
Yeah, well, as you know the 4 cycles of the hair, with the anagen stage where it's growing through, the catching stage where it's sort of in transition, and the telogen stage where it's resting. This is what a lot of people don't understand. This happens, I think, 4 times every 4 years, and 30 times in your life. But this point where people are being proactive about their scalp, we teach our children, and you teach your children, I've always taught my children, to brush their teeth regularly.
Yeah.
Twice a day.
Yeah.
And don't be hard on the gums. Massage the gums, brush down. We teach them this. And we teach them because we know that your teeth are going to last you your life.
Yeah.
No one teaches anyone about hair, right? I was watching my daughters prior to Manta. They would have any brush ripping it through because they think, I've got lots of hair, why do I have to worry?
Yeah, and new hair is coming.
New hair's coming, I've got abundance of it, right? And then especially when women get to 30, for example, and they've experienced hormonal changes, stress, maybe babies, postpartum hair loss, the hair is changing a lot, and especially when you get stress, there's the telogen effluvium stage where it sheds. Now, it's so important to stimulate the scalp, and I use the example that we have, if you have a sore muscle or you have an aching muscle, you either massage it or you put an ice pack on to get blood to it. What I watched my wife do when she was going through treatment, she never touched her scalp once. She was so worried about losing any more hair, she thought, if I don't touch my scalp, then my hair will be okay.
Yeah.
So what happened was, to her detriment, it didn't stimulate the scalp. And so when she started trying, it was getting too late. So what I was always encouraging is the more blood and oxygen you take, along with a good diet and everything, the more you get to the scalp, the better it is. Then you can put all the treatments on you like, but it's really important to stimulate the scalp.
I mean, this is very nice. Oczywiście sponsorowane przez szczotkę Manta Hair, szczotka, która daje Wam połysk dla Waszych włosów. Pięknie i łatwo możecie rozplątować Wasze włosy i tak samo możecie robić masaż skóry głowy i tam też dać odżywki, szampony na Wasze włosy, żeby piękne produkty też rozmywać na Waszych włosach. I mean, this is very nice because there are more and more products from the outside, there are more and more products for healthy hair from the inside, but a tool which is helping all of this, from my point of view, what I know was always missing.
Yeah, it does. You're absolutely right. It does link the two together. And there are scalp brushes out there. But if you look at the scalp brushes, they're normally quite thick pronged. There's normally 17 on a little round, and they're rigid. So the brush is rigid, and you just move it around your scalp.
Okay.
Manta here has got 170 little bristles, tiny ones. So that sits on the scalp, and it's shaped to your everyone's head is bespoke, right? We've all got different shaped heads, similar, but all bespoke. So this will work around your head. And so you can also feel, if you've got a sensitive scalp, you don't press as hard. If you want a much more intense, scalp massage, you can press harder. But you try and then move your scalp rather than the hair. So the thicker bristles can tend to get the hair knotted up. What you do with this is you put right onto, let's say that's your scalp, you put it on like this, and you move the scalp, so that will stimulate the blood flow and oxygen. You don't have to do it 2 minutes a day. I do it every day in the shower, not washing my hair. I'll just turn my Manta pulse on, which I'll show you in a minute, and that will stimulate the scalp.
Super, super. So, but as you said before, it gives you shine, it gives you volume, and you can detangle your hair very nice. I think it should be time to show it.
Yes.
On a real model. We have the amazing Romina here.
Yeah, I'll just show you. Yeah.
Will come.
Yeah,
and
brilliant.
You can show how to give her volume.
Yes,
and
I'll do
detangle.
everything. So, let's get down here and have a look. Now, I'm going to show you a few things first. So I think what we'll start with, I've got another hairbrush here to show you, so we're going to do an experiment. So this has to work.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to show you now. With Romina's hair here, I am going to put in a knot like that. Now a typical hairbrush we talked about, if you can see, you put down like that and you can see how it's pulling, right? Normally what you would do, and you would all recognize it, you should either hold the hair here because you're in a rush and you would pull it through, and then you'd end up with quite a lot of hair on here, but you would have done the job. So it's not wrong, but there is a better way. So let's take our Manta, and you can see how Romina's hair is here. There's Manta. Now look, you see how I'm placing it? I put my hand in it like a glove. Now this is my one I've had for a long time. It's really soft and malleable. Remember, it's a thermoplastic rubber, so when you first get it, it's stiffer and it moves. The more you squash it, the softer it becomes. Now watch this. I'm going to work down the hair like that. Look. Do you see? I'm just moving it. So can you see how I'm just moving it down? Now what I'm doing is I'm feeling every knot. So when there is a knot, rather than pull it through, I just ease it off. Now I want you to show you there. Can you see any hairs at all in the brush? Now I'm not saying you won't lose hairs naturally, but there's no reason to pull more hair out than you need to. So that's just one way of doing it. Now I'm going to show you some other things. If you're putting your treatments on, actually let's first go to shampooing, right? But when you're shampooing the hair, you can either put a tiny bit of shampoo onto your Manta, like this, and then you use small circular motions on the scalp. So do you see how I showed you like that? Just massage. It does feel really nice, but you put the pressure on you think you need. Now I'm going to show you the pulse in a minute as well, but I'm going to show you put your treatments on, and when you put your treatments on in the shower, you put a small amount of treatment onto your hand, whatever treatment you fancy, but you wouldn't put it onto the scalp because it makes the scalp go heavy. You know, the hair will go heavy. So you put it onto the mid-lengths and ends. Pray it like that, just pray. Run down the hair like that with a small amount, and then again, take your Manta, and you get your Manta like this, and if the hair's got a knot, just ease it down. Once the knots are out, you can brush it normally, but then you coat all the hair with your treatment. So you're using less product, and you're getting better coverage, which, again, products are expensive. Good products are expensive, so you don't want to use so much that it goes down the sink. You want to make sure you use it sparingly, but better coverage. I can quickly show you as well. I'm going to show you some other things. So if you want to get volume in the hair, right, you can, if I should show you this on Romina's scalp, you can move it around like this. So do you see how I'm just gently moving it like this? And that will create some volume to the hair, and it will just lift up on the roots. So that's one way you can do it. If you want to create more volume, and I'm just going to show you through here. Again, this is great because Romina hasn't brushed her hair at all here, so I'm going to have to work it through. But what's important I want to show you is you shouldn't have to break the hair when you're brushing, all right? So what I want you to see is I can use the Manta here, and if I just turn you around like this, I can push the hair down, just gently back combing. That will get the lift in, and then you can get some more body through the hair as well when you're dressing it. So when you're pushing it over, you'll get more body through the hair as well. Now, if I was going to show you just to get a bend in the hair as well, so we talked about getting the shine and the bend. You can twist it. Do you see how, if you've had your hair tonged, you can twist it round like that, and that will get the bend in the hair, because what you're just doing, you're controlling it. So you can still do it that way as well. What else am I going to show you? Ponytails are one thing. So if you're in the salon and you want to do a ponytail, you can work right up into the nape here. So if you're going through here, you get right up into the nape, and then that won't have bagginess here, because again, you can follow the contour of the scalp and then bend it round the hair to get the lift. So a lot of times with ponytails, you get a bag here, especially with the top knot as well. So there are some techniques you can use. One of the other ones, which is really good, if someone's got straight hair and they're getting some static, spray a tiny bit onto the surface of your manta, but not close up, a mist, put it on like that, and then just run it through. And that will take any static out of the hair. Again, you're not having to put it onto a bristle where it's going to rip through, you're just going over the surface of the hair. But mantas are also about preparation. So you've detangled the hair, you've got the knots out, you smooth it out. You can then use your round brushes, your tongs, everything. Dress it as you normally would. But remember, we're trying to keep as much hair on the head as possible. And also you want to stimulate the scalp, so it's doing something really healthy for the scalp as well. So it shouldn't be just looking good, it should feel good, look good, but be good for the hair as well.
And you would always go for to do it in wet hair or in dry hair, or what is your recommendation here?
Well, what we generally do is you'd always, when you're preparing the hair, some people like to brush their hair through before having a shower, because when the hair is wet, it's heavier, so it's more prone to come out.
Yeah.
So if you're in your salons and you're going to go to shampoo your client, you can always brush it through first using this technique, then wash the hair, then you're preparing it. Then you can actually shampoo. But I'm going to show you quickly here. This is the Manta Pulse. So can I show you this? This one here. So I've got a battery here to show you, right? So I'm going to put this on here. There we are. Now this is going to go on to, if I can turn this on, there we are. This is the charger, and I'm going to show you here. That sits on the top like that to charge your manta. Now this is the Manta Pulse, and this delivers either 2,000 or 4,000 pulsations per minute. So one's very relaxing, one's more intensive. And what you do, this is 100% waterproof, but what you do is you turn it on like this, and this will start vibrating. So all the stuff we talked about before, this will really stimulate the scalp and the blood flow. So this does it all for you. So a lot of times when you're at the backwash, people don't have the best experience because it's not always the same. So if we can actually make sure we stimulate the scalp by putting your treatment on, you either have a scalp treatment or just even shampoo, you can really work on that. And it's very relaxing, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
But again, just put some pressure on. So if I just push you around like this, Marina, look, on the occipital bone here, just put the pressure on. So if I'm showing you like this, just sit in, and you see how I'm following the contour of the scalp? So just push it in like that, and that will vibrate and do all the work for you. So that's really, really lovely. Again, this I do myself every day, I love it. And I put the shampoo on in shampoo. So that's really nice.
I will do it by myself now.
Me too.
So again, with Manta, I think, again, what we want to look at is it's something that the more you use it, you have it in your kit bag. We have hairdressers in the UK that use it a lot. They now posting, they use it for colour. So what happens is they will do block colours, and I've seen them on the social media, and they're running the colour through on their manta, because again, they can get better coverage with the colour by wrapping it around, hugging the hair and working it through. It's using less product but better coverage. So it all sort of makes sense, and hairdressers use their initiative a lot more than I do now, and they're coming up with so many better ideas all the time.
Super. So who would you say is your customer for Manta? What type of woman is buying Manta, and for whom is it the right product?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because people have said they love it for their children, and people who are older with dexterity problems love it. But the customer that loves it the most is someone who's going through probably the perimenopause, menopause stage. The lack of estrogen in their hair is making the hair brittle. They're making their hair's got a bit more lifeless. It's got dull because things are changing, right? So people are much more open to prolonging what they've got and looking after what they've got, as opposed to just hoping. And the products are great now, but if you, like you said before, if you've got something before you digest and ingest, or something that you put on the hair afterwards, if there's a link between the two, that's, I think, the missing piece. So that's who really love it.
Super, super. And now Manta is in a lot of countries. And what is now the story of the expansion of Manta? Can you tell us?
Well, Poland
was always missing.
That was the missing link. So we've launched in USA. We're in Colombia, to Japan, to Korea. We're launching in Australia this year. We've just launched in India. But there's a common thread with this. It's always people wanting to look after their hair and being mindful about how they look after their hair and scalp. And that's the common thread. There's women and men all over the world that are willing to invest in looking after their hair and scalp. And I think that's been the common thread. So it's really good to speak to everyone for that, you know. And we still also, I mean, we've won 40 awards now. And the latest award was the Travel Award, which was voted for by 5,000 customers for the best beauty product under 45 euros. And that we sell on Emirates. We've just launched on British Airways, Singapore, Thai Airlines, all of them. But it's a good, because it's so light, that people can have that, and it comes in a little bag, they can take it with them. But what's most important, though, I'd say, the hairdresser's teaching someone about how to look after their hair is crucial, because it's not always as intuitive as you think. When a hairdresser shows them how to look after it, that expertise is brilliant.
It's actually a perfect product for the zeitgeist. I don't know if this product would have worked 20, 30 years ago, but today it fits perfectly into this what a modern woman wants to have. It's not only about beauty, it's about health as well.
It bridges the two. And we know that because also women are looking at 60, you know, it's not old, right? So I think anything we can do to help that. But as you said, if you think about how fast dental care was going, and hair has been on behind that slightly. So it's really good that we're catching up and not just thinking about putting products on our hair, but how we use the products effectively with a tool, you know?
Yes, amazing. And if somebody buys the brush by himself, by herself, like Romina, how should she first go into the hair? How should she hold it, and then she should squeeze it and test it? What would be the first?
Well, Romina, if you tried. So the trick at first is you put your hand in it, and then you think, oh, how do I move it? So it's using it by getting your thumb and just manipulating it like it's a bit of material. Just move it around so it feels comfortable. Remember, it's the closest thing you're having to bristles on your fingers. So you want to make sure that when you put it in, it feels comfortable. And then when you move it, you can actually brush it through the hair and start hugging the hair. So that's it, put it like that, that's it. Now, if you feel a knot, you can move it like that. Once the knots are out, you brush it as normal. But you want to just make sure you look after the hair first. So it's a bit like having a necklace, and you have a knot in a necklace. What you tend to do is you wiggle it and wiggle it and wiggle it to loosen it, and then you can undo it. It's the same as hair. Hair is very fine. You do not want to pull it too much because it will come out at the root.
Perfect.
How's that feel?
Very good.
Oh, you got it already. Anyone would think you're a hairdresser. That's brilliant. And you can see the shine, right, on the hair. Now, it's not, people said, oh, you're smoothing down the cuticles. You can't really smooth cuticles down, but what you can do is bunch the hair together. By the very action of hugging it, you bunch the hair together, and because it's all together, it will reflect the light better. So it's all about light reflection.
Yes.
So it doesn't always mean, but that you can see already, it's got a beautiful shine and depth to it. So.
Perfect. If you spend a lot of money for a beautiful hair color, you should take care that the hair is shiny after 2-3 weeks as well. After
Exactly. Yeah, totally. And putting your treatments on as well. I said it's really important to put the treatments on in the right way. We're all in a rush, and I understand in the mornings when you've got, you know, kids and work and everything to do, you just don't have the time. I would suggest try and put your treatments on when you do have the time. It's really important, and do it in the right process and look after it. Remember, your hair is so important that you should love it.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Tim. Yeah, well, I mean, I would invite you for on the couch as well, if you want, because of course I have 2 other questions. What is coming in the future? Thanks, Romina.
Thanks,
Amazing.
Romina. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've done your side better than my side.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Probably because I'm a hairdresser.
Tim, where's the future of Manta? What do you have new Manta brushes in mind?
We've got lots. Yeah, we have ones for curly hair that have just launched that you might see soon. We are making one for thick and wavy hair.
Okay.
Again, we've
Nice.
got that already made. It's
Yeah.
just we don't want to put too many products on at once. We are looking at a pulse again, which is going to have 6 modes, because some people want even more intensive massage.
Yeah.
Some people wanted an oscillating massage. So we're looking at that. And we're also looking at infrared pulse as well.
Very nice.
So all these are in the pipeline, and what we do is we make it, test it, sample it and everything. So you will be getting some samples when they're ready for you to test. So
Thank you.
it will happen.
Thank you. What I think is very interesting, this is a brush for life, right? Because it's not, you cannot destroy it, nearly not destroy it.
No, it's a bit of a problem business-wise, because someone said to me they should design something that breaks after a couple of years. But the very nature of Manta was that if we did make it to break, it would break straight away.
Okay.
So it took us so long to make something that wouldn't break. So again, I still would recommend, what will happen is the bristles will bend. They're a certain shore hardness, they're quite soft, these ones.
Yeah.
And you can give as much tension as you want by squeezing them.
Yeah.
But after a while, these will get softer and softer. So like a toothbrush, we said, you should replace this after, you can replace it after 1 year to 2 years. But it won't break, it's how it feels for you. But I know hairdressers get attached to their equipment.
So. This is true. This is true. But maybe every woman should have at least 3 models, different models.
Exactly. I mean, this one I've had, Rafael, for, 3 years. So I've always used this. I like this one. And you can feel how soft that is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for me, it's my favorite color, the black and gold one.
Yeah, well, you know what? The hairdressers love it because, as I said, they put the colour on and it doesn't stain. So they really like that one, and it does look quite chic. So
super.
You know what we like with black hairdressers? We like a bit of black.
Yeah, yeah. Tim, I think you created, I know you created a wonderful product which is helping the woman to have beautiful shiny hair, which is helping the professional industry. It comes from a great purpose. Thank you very much that you have been here on the podcast, The Culture of Beauty.
Thank you.
And yeah, I hope I see you soon in Warsaw to demonstrate some innovations in the near future.
Definitely, definitely.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks, Rafa.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.